So you ever see those videos of those 9-year-olds doing math like insanely fast?
Bravo.
Well, I've always wanted to be able to do that because it's cool, but I don't want to spend years learning all that like freaky number magic stuff. So I'm gonna give myself a week. Oh, don't mind him, he's just chilling. Plan is simple. Get really good at first grade multiplication. To do this, I'll be doing 20 problems a day, 5 times a day, every day for a week straight. And if you're already getting confused by all the numbers, don't worry. It only gets worse from here. That means I'll be doing this worksheet 35 times with a total of 700 problems, all in the span of 1 week. Why am I doing this? So my goal for this first attempt was just to get a feel for whatever the frick I got myself into. I wasn't trying to go fast. I was just making sure that I got everything right, and I still knew how to do basic math. Probably a pretty important part of this challenge. I feel like it goes without saying, but throughout this process, I want to get answers right. Like, it would be easy to say, I can answer any question in under 2 seconds, and then just yell out 12 and be like, actually, I didn't say I would answer them right. This is why you have no friends. Anyway, I did this whole thing in 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Sweet. I'm not like some sort of math prodigy, so naturally not destroying this children's homework assignment was kind of expected. I tracked this time down and then did the worksheet 4 more times because 5 total, did 1. You got that. Anyway, give me this data somewhere. Now, if you clicked on this video and didn't expect it to get nerdy, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but there's a spreadsheet coming. It's a video about math, and if you didn't expect it to get nerdy, then that's kind of like all your bad. Don't click away, please. I need the views. So basically, on the spreadsheet, I'm tracking 3 things. The first is the average. Pretty self-explanatory. It's basically just how fast do I do it on average. The second thing is the standard deviation, which less self-explanatory. It's basically how close together are my attempts. So basically, how consistent am I? Am I like going all over the place, like doing 6 minutes on one time, 1 minute on the other time? But this is a good gauge of like how lucky I'm getting, kind of. And the last thing is the rate per problem, which again, pretty self-explanatory. Just how fast do I do each individual problem as a part of the whole worksheet. Sweet. Okay, so on the first day, I had an average of 5 minutes and 19 seconds, standard deviation of 0.03, and an average rate per problem of 15 seconds. I think that's pretty good for the first day. Pretty proud of myself. Good job. Good job. Do good. Yeah, that's the first day. Only got to do this for 6 more days. Day 2 was better. The average was 3 minutes and 19 seconds with a standard deviation of 0.022 and an average rate of 9 seconds per problem. Now, the average jumping from 5 minutes to 3 minutes is a little out of the ordinary, but that's why we have the standard deviation. That will tell us how out of the ordinary it actually was. If the standard deviation was higher, it means that my trials were all over the place. So I was very well just not consistent. Since the standard deviation on day 2 was actually lower, so compared 0.03 to 0.022, that means that not only was I getting faster, because the average went down, but I was also getting more consistent, which means it wasn't just dumb luck. I actually am a genius. Like, I could be the greatest mind of this generation. Please don't leave. So day 3 was actually a really good day. On just the second attempt, I got 2 minutes, 59 seconds, which under 3 minutes. And then 2 attempts later, I got under 2 minutes with a time of under 2 minutes. I didn't write it down. That's kind of my bad. Now, you're probably saying, wait, if you just do the same worksheet, I don't know why I made you sound like that. I'm so sorry. Wait, if you just do the same worksheet 35 times, won't you just start memorizing it? And to that I say, precisely. Yeah, so I kind of knew I was going to start memorizing answers, which is kind of what happened on day 3, where on the first trial, I kind of realized that I was kind of memorizing the answers. I kind of have a limited vocabulary. So yeah, days 4 and 5 were kind of similar, actually. They both started out under 2 minutes, like just under 2 minutes. And then after I got warmed up and did the rest of the trials, they ended at just under 1 minute, which, by the way, under a minute, pretty sweet. But you can see how the differences in the averages are getting smaller and smaller, meaning that like I'm kind of plateauing. I'm plateauing it under a minute for the entire worksheet when it used to take 6, which I'm perfectly fine with. And then day 6 came, and it was like the most consistent day I've had. The standard deviation dropped from 0.017, I think. Yeah, 0.017 to 0.009, which is probably showing that I reached the limit as to how fast I actually can go. The closer the standard deviation is to 0, the more condensed. So that means I'm just doing the same thing over and over again. Kind of like the point of this video. It all comes full circle. Ooh, wait, that was tough. Okay, finally, day 7. Yippee! The last day doing this worksheet. Unsurprisingly, didn't change that much. I just talked about how like I reached my limit and I probably couldn't go that much faster. Yeah, I didn't go that much faster. The standard deviation was actually the lowest of the entire trial, being 0.007. Makes sense if I'm doing this at the end, but you know what? It's good. Science is working, and that's it. After doing this worksheet 5 times a day for 7 days straight, I went from a time of 6 minutes and 20 seconds down to a time of 45 seconds at my fastest. Dang, that's fast. My rate per problem went from 15 seconds down to 3 seconds per problem, and I did just end up memorizing all the answers instead of actually doing the math. So, after all this, what did I learn? What happens next? Is my brain damage reversible? Those are all great questions. Let's start with what I learned. Simple math like this is pretty easily practicable, as you saw by me just doing this for a week. Don't get me wrong, the 9-year-old's doing what they call it abacus math. That's still very possible, and you can still learn how to do that. It's just the human calculators you see on YouTube, they could be doing that stuff with the, or they could just be doing what I did and just memorize the answers. Not saying that I did do that, but possible. But another thing I learned is that the skills on how to actually do this math quickly are very easily practicable as well. So I'm talking about before I started memorizing answers. Like, memorizing is one thing, but sometimes just learning a few tricks can help. The main one that I've learned that my dad actually taught me was perfect squares. What it looks like is x squared minus a squared, and that's it. Nothing crazy. If you know how to factor, you can factor this into x plus a times x minus a, and this can actually just be used with random multiplication. So let's say you come across a problem 17 times 23, for example. And let's say that you know that 20 times 20, which is 20 squared, is 400. So if you say that 17 is 20 minus 3 and 23 is 20 plus 3, then you can say that 20 minus 3 times 20 plus 3 is the same as 17 times 23. Now, knowing that, you can use differential squares, unfactor it, basically just like FOIL it, expand it, make it more complicated, whatever you want to call it. And you can say that 17 times 23 is basically the same thing as 20 squared minus 3 squared, which 400 minus 9 is a lot easier than 17 times 23. That's science. That's not science, that's math. But you get the idea. Like, it's pretty cool stuff. So this is it. This is the end. We made it. Thanks for sticking it out with me. Thank you to my high school calculus and biology teachers, Mr. Roberts and Mr. Scott, for teaching me pretty much everything I yapped about in this video. Thank you for watching. I hope your brain isn't fried. I hope you learned something maybe. And until next time, always eat vegetables.